Hello and welcome to the Dad and Buried podcast. As always, I am your host, Dad and Buried, aka Mike. Joining me this week is my lovely wife, Mom and Buried.
Hello. Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a minute, huh? As the kids say. It's been a minute. I don't know if that's supposed to mean a short period of time or a long period of time. I think it depends on the context.
I think it's supposed to be a long period of time.
Well, you know what? It's been a minute. How about that? So this week, I think it's like episode 105 maybe. We're going to be talking about the worst parenting advice you've ever received. We got a lot of input from people. There's a handful that are universally reviled bits of parenting advice. I think that all of us have gotten one way or another. We're going to get into those in a few minutes. Do you remember any particularly bad advice you got? Like, don't marry that guy? That was some horrible advice. That wasn't exactly parenting advice.
No, it was actually my friend who said, go and meet Dad and
Jen?
Buried.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, said go meet him.
I wasn't Dad and Buried at that point.
No, you're right. No, that was actually a fun aside. Mm-hmm. Like I was thinking we were apart. We weren't long distance yet. We lived in different cities.
We didn't have a real relationship. We were just friends. Casual friends.
We met once. And then we were supposed to like meet up for a date in
we met once.
City
it was fucking fireworks.
Middle. And I wasn't going to do it because I didn't want to like have a real relationship. And my friend knew that. So she was like, just do it. Just go for it. Just do it. And now look at this, Jen. I'm all married and shit. I have like 2 kids.
Yeah, you blew it, Jen. Seriously.
Jesus.
2 kids, a podcast. Fucking absolute nightmare. That's why I said, speaking of those 2 kids, they've been at each other's throats nonstop for the past few months. Somebody on here said one of the worst pieces of advice they got was to have your kids all together. Like, just get it all out of the way. We didn't do that. We have a 5-year gap. And it was pretty good for a while. Like when you have a 5-year-old and a baby and like a 7-year-old and a toddler, and you can the 7-year-old can kind of fend for himself. It was actually, that worked out pretty well. It's not good anymore.
Even when we were all like stuck at home last year during the pandemic, everyone was remote. We were all here. I was impressed by how much like the 9-year-old and like the 4-year-old were playing together. Like even despite their disparities.
And we were thinking, we were both like, we fell into it and we were thinking like, oh, maybe we won't have this sibling rival thing. Maybe the 5-year gap will prevent that from happening. And then once you put that thought out into the universe, it's like the reverse secret.
Yeah.
Boom. It was a reverse jinx. Boom. All of a sudden.
Absolutely
they
screwed.
Can't stand each other. Actually, no. The little one worships the older one. The older one can't stand the little one, which I think is the way it goes.
You know, it's funny because I have sibling 5 years younger and one 6 years older. And yet I didn't see this coming. I mean, I guess...
Well, I guess you did. There was a big gap between your oldest and you.
I literally just said this.
I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't listening.
I had a sister that was 5 years younger and a sister that was 6 years older.
I can't believe your parents kept going.
I know. And then they had
2 more after the younger sister, yes.
So like I have one 7 years younger and 9 years younger. Like they just kept going. That being said, again, built-in babysitters. You get those 5 years.
We haven't gotten to that portion yet. So our 10-year-old cannot yet babysit for a 5-year-old. That's 3 years? I guess it depends on where we're going and what we're doing. We can't go down to hedonism because that's like a long weekend and you can't leave the kid alone for that long. But we can go to scores for the night.
If you're going to hedonism, do you care anymore? It's called hedonism. Yeah. You're just going to go.
That's true.
But I do remember that when I was in 6th grade, like my sister was really nice to me for a long time, but by the time she was a teenager, she was fucking done.
That's how it goes. Well, that's just because she was done with everybody but herself. Yeah. That's what happens to teenagers.
And then I was real mean to her. And then I started taking it out on my younger sibling.
Shit rolls downhill. Yeah. Shit rolls downhill. That's what happens. So Mom and Buried is mean to me, so I'm mean to the 10-year-old. The 10-year-old is mean to the 5-year-old.
This is not true.
It is true. You're pretty mean. You could be pretty hurtful sometimes. Like when I haven't got my hair cut in a while. Or when I put on that stupid do-rag thing that I got from Chowder Head. See my new hat? Got this new Fenway hat from Chowder Head. Well, I'm not a do-rag guy, but you know what? It looks all right. I can pull it off. I just don't. It's just not my thing.
Guys.
Got to thank Chowder Heads. It's a Chowder with a CHOWDAHEADZ. Check them out. Follow them if you're a Red Sox fan or a Boston fan. Lots of this hot swag.
No,
Send me some stuff.
I'm excited. You didn't tell me you were going to be shouting them out because they sent me a hat too, and I have to say,
I got a Fenway coaster here. Chowder heads.
I was talking.
Hold on, right there. Chowder heads.
And I got a hat just like this.
Excuse me. My hair is not camera ready.
I look even cuter in it, guys. Look.
You do look good in hats. I've always said that to you, and you refuse to wear them.
No, I'm recently getting into that.
So that was some advice I gave her. I said, you look good in hats. You should wear them more often, and she ignored it, even though I was correct and it was great advice. So what we're going to be talking about tonight, you see that fucking segue? I've been doing 100 episodes of this. Fucking amazing at it.
Really clunky at best.
No, it was not. It was seamless. We're doing worst parenting advice you've ever gotten. I can't really remember. Some of these I've definitely gotten, especially like the big five at the top, which we're going to get into. It is pretty annoying. Probably so one of the reasons I had this idea was Memorial Day a few years ago when we only had the one kid. We were at my brother's friend's house and they're having like a cookout. I
can't believe this hasn't come up
and this dude doesn't have kids, or someone there I was talking to doesn't have kids, and he starts telling me like what you need to do and how you discipline and how you handle this shit. I'm like, buddy, at best you're a fucking fun uncle. Like, you take the kids to the zoo for 3 hours, you give them a hot dog, maybe they sleep over, you give them, some Cocoa Krispies. Of course it was easy. Of course you had a good time. Then you got to hand the kids back off. Parenting is not short spurts. It's a sprint. It's 18, 30, 40 years of you having to take care of your kids. Like, I'm 40, my parents are still taking care of me. I'm a bit of a disaster, so it's an exception, obviously. But I'm just saying, this kid, the worst kind of parenting advice you could get is parenting advice from childless people. That's not what this is about. There's not that many childless people. I'm sorry, child-free people. And I like child-free people. Just don't tell me how to parent my kid. I don't even know how to parent my kid. And he's my kid and I parent him every day. Why would you know? You don't. So that's the worst kind of advice. But we didn't get any of that. We didn't get any of that because there's not that many child-free people who listen.
Although there are. I mean, they come out and it's fun.
Well, we're simpatico because I trash kids a lot and they trash kids a lot. So like the Venn diagram of child-free people and the burieds there's some overlap.
Yes, you would think. Although sometimes then people love, people in your close inner circles, family, friends, all of a sudden they just do the kind of shit that you say is the most obnoxious thing of all time.
Let's move on. All right, so we're going to get into worst parenting advice you've ever gotten. We're going to get into that right after the break. All right, so tonight on the Dad and Buried podcast, I'm joined by Mom and Buried. We're going to be talking about the worst parenting advice our listeners have gotten or that we've gotten. Like I said, I haven't gotten a ton of it. The worst I've gotten is like from child-free people that don't know what they're talking about, which is very, very obnoxious. Sometimes you get it from family members. We do have some examples here from in-laws and from moms from different generations and stuff where they're saying some wacky stuff. I believe I may have cut you off when you were going to trash some of our friends and family for their bad advice.
No. I was just going to say sometimes it's funny because everyone, our personalities, kind of how we do it. And then sometimes, we do encounter people that like judgy. Should know us, who actually that we feel like we know pretty good. And all of a sudden they'll like slide some judgy shit in and I'll be like, excuse me. I mean, have we met?
Clearly not enough.
Clearly not.
Well, you know what? In the pandemic,
take your shit elsewhere.
We haven't been hanging out with people a lot. Maybe they haven't either. They've lost some of their socialization skills. Things will get back to normal as the world gets back to normal, which, thank you, science. It is getting there. We're around the corner.
Yes, thank you,
Knock
science.
on wood.
Anyone who thinks they're a better parent after living through a fucking pandemic, trapped with your family, talk to me.
Yeah.
Give me tips. And I'll assume your family's buried somewhere in the backyard.
I'm going to say the opposite. But if you think you're a better parent at any point, and especially after pandemic, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear about it. It's bullshit. Or you're the worst, regardless, or maybe both. So before we get into the topic, I want to remind everybody that you can rate, or you can listen to us wherever you listen to us. You can rate us on Apple. We could use some more reviews. We'd appreciate that. Follow us both on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I got TikTok. I don't use TikTok enough, but you know what? I'm always looking for ideas. So you want to shoot me one spitball?
Dancing.
I don't. We've talked about this before. My dancing is too fire. I can't I don't want to upstage all the tweens and the teens on there.
It's too fire.
It's too fire. I got all the lingo tonight. Yeah, you can catch me on my blog, and please subscribe, like, tell your friends, all that kind of stuff. You can even watch us on YouTube, so you can see my new Fenway hat from Chowder Heads. Mom and Barry looking stylish as always. We kind of do like the opposite thing, where she dresses nice and I don't. Pretty much what we do in daily life.
I mean, I have on like capri yoga pants on the bottom half.
I have put athletic shorts.
Minimal effort in, and yet.
Every time we are setting up to record, she's like making sure she looks good and the lighting is good. And I'm like, nobody watches the YouTube, which is true.
Yeah, that's fine. I want it to continue that way, so we stopped talking about it.
Anyway, you can find us on YouTube and comment under individual episodes, but please like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen, and tell your friends.
That's huge. If you like us, subscribe, comment, like,
comment. Right? Give me some shit. I don't care. Or DM me
Review.
If you want.
I mean, those things go a long way in this stupid podcast
really
universe.
Do.
That's
they really do.
This guy keeps telling me. I don't fucking know. I don't even listen to the show.
Look, clearly, I don't know anything about podcasting. I'm just amazing at segues. Speaking of, I don't even have one for this. So we're talking about worst parenting advice you've ever gotten. And we're going to start with a handful of the biggest, most common ones, where kind of this is stereotypical advice that every parent who's been a parent for even 2 weeks has gotten. And a lot of the comments that we got this week, as always, I post the topic and the question, or I frame the topic as a question within Instagram so we can get some of your feedback. Without that, the show wouldn't exist. So we're going to run through a bunch of those, but by far the most popular ones we're going to run through at the top. A lot of people sent these in. So the first one, and maybe the most obnoxious one, is sleep when the baby sleeps.
Fuck you.
So somebody said something interesting, that they also got feed. What was it? I can't find it right now, but we'll find it at some point.
Eat when the baby eats?
Yeah, something like eat when the baby, feed the kids at this, or no, it was feed the kids at separate times. So if you have 2 young kids or twins or something, they got the advice that was have one-on-one time with each kid. So feed one kid at a time so you can have that one-on-one bonding time. And he was like, cool. What am I supposed to eat?
What's the other kid doing?
When am I supposed to sleep? Yeah, who's taking care of that other kid?
The other kid is just destroying shit somewhere. Might just completely die and fall down the stairs. But you bond over the fact that the kid you're bonding with isn't going to eat the fucking carrots. It doesn't matter.
So this is the thing that the sleep with the baby sleep advice ignores, is it ignores like other people's existence, whether even your own, right? So like, or like the world's existence. If you're sleeping when the baby sleeps, like who's doing the laundry? Right? Like if you're a single parent, God forbid, that's, more power to you. That's incredible. Or if you have a spouse that works and they're not at home after maternity leave, if they have it, or paternity leave, which they probably don't because it's America, USA. You're home alone a lot of times with the baby. And if you're sleeping when the baby sleeps, like who's dusting, right? Because God knows you love to dust.
Yeah.
You would really be bereft if you didn't have the opportunity to dust.
Or ladies, who's fucking scrolling Instagram for 1 goddamn minute so they can have some sanity in their lives? I don't care what you're doing. You want to actually not be sitting around with a baby on your boob or on your lap with a bottle or whatever for like 5 freaking minutes. I did the sleep when the baby sleeps for probably the first 5 days, and those were the 5 days your mom visited to help with the baby.
Thanks, Mom.
Those were the days that I got to do that. And then the rest of them, nada.
Well, because that's the thing. Once you have a kid, you are never alone again for the rest of your life. And you're never, well, here's the thing. You're also never well rested again for the rest of your life. But as I've posted in several memes, and that every parent agrees with, the struggle is real in terms of we'll stay up too late. We have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old, so they're not going to bed at 6. They're not napping all day long. It's not the same as a baby, but you wait for them to go to bed, and then even though you're exhausted, you're staying up for a few hours just to have that alone time, because alone time becomes just as precious, if not more so, than that sleep that you're missing out on. So no, you're not going to sleep. Imagine if we slept when our kids slept. What would we do with it? We wouldn't have lives, and we wouldn't be able to watch Mayor of Easttown.
I have to say, so this is really funny, but like...
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Well, I mean, whatever.
Melanie
Just the
Bostic.
fact that it is universal. So, I was at the dentist the other day getting a filling or whatever.
Sick. It was beautiful to be apart from the children. You had some alone time.
Yeah. It was not actually that fun this time. That being said, I have like a very like conservative, religious, like Jewish family sort of doctor, right?
Okay, I was like, you're Jewish? I was like, what? You have a Jewish family?
No, but it's like very like...
Yeah. They don't work on the Sabbath, but he's super friendly.
Amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're really good dentists.
But they're also like very devout.
Shouts to Dr. Rosencrantz.
Yeah, and fam and everything or whatever. But he's going on this tangent when I can't even talk, and he's like, "Yeah, I know." And then the weekends, you're thinking, "Hey, I don't have to go anywhere tomorrow," and you're just sitting up at night and being like, I get some time alone. I'm just gonna sit up here till 2 a.m. Next thing, and it's just so funny that I'm like, it's so universal that so many of us are
even like
feeling
the hardcore religious people are still staying up partying,
and he was
just
like,
to be without kids.
And you're not even drinking and you still feel hungover. And I'm like, well, I was drinking.
Yeah, right.
To be fair, I was drinking.
He's like, speak for yourself, Dr. Rosencrantz. Anyway, guys, a really great dentist. Cheerios. I never know what he means when he's talking about Cheerios around the gums, the circular motion. What does Cheerios have to do with that?
I feel like
because there's an O at the end of fucking Cheerios?
This is too much
some inside dentist baseball there. Anyway, so sleep when the baby sleeps is a really obnoxious one. Sava sawa. So sava is like a French thing where it says how you doing, right? That's not actually how they say it because Joey Tribbiani is Italian. Sava, come see, come sa, right? How are you doing? Sava.
Sure,
I learned it in French. It took a lot. I'm really babbling now. Sava sawa said she made fun of the sleep when the baby sleeps advice by saying, "Oh yeah, and cook when the baby cooks." Guess what, baby? I hope your baby's not cooking.
The baby
probably do a better job than me.
Amazing.
Finally, the baby's going to give back a little bit and do a little cooking. Somebody else said, and clean when the baby cleans. Guess what? Baby ain't cleaning. Cleaning out his bowels.
No, gross.
Up top. All right. So, I don't know why we started with that one because these are maybe even bigger. So, cherish every moment. If you've ever been to my Instagram page, you know goddamn well I barely cherish any moment, let alone every moment. Not every moment is cherishable. Am I right?
Not every moment's cherishable.
The time when we thought our toddler swallowed a pill and we had to bring him to the emergency room and he had to drink like a charcoal solution. We had to stay up with him all night to make sure that he hadn't actually swallowed it. But you panic so hard. He probably wasn't even 2, right? Yeah. And when he was 2, he swallowed a penny. And then I had to sift through his diaper for a week to make sure, because pennies have copper. A little bit of copper, and it could have hurt him if it stayed in his intestines. So yeah, I didn't cherish that. I'm not cherishing the week of sifting through my son's fucking feces. All right? Get out of my face.
I almost had a fucking heart attack with the whole pill incident. Yeah.
I remember. I wrote a blog post.
It wasn't Tylenol, guys.
No, but it wasn't like cocaine.
No.
Does cocaine come in pill form?
No, but I have MS. It's probably I'm sure it would have even been fine. Whatever. But you panic.
Of course you panic.
A lot of panic. I'm just saying,
Telling a parent, especially a new parent or a parent who's dealing with a tantrum or a parent who, whatever, don't say cherish every moment. No, that's not how the world works. That's not how life works. Not every moment is great. And it's okay because the moments that suck make the moments that are great, great. You don't need to cherish the moments that suck.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Right?
Like that you can appreciate.
I'm incredible. Thank you for noticing and recognizing it. Without the lows, you can't have the highs. If everything's the middle all the time, it's actually pretty good. Even Steven, like Jerry Seinfeld, that's pretty good, right? But
no, I like the highs. I love the highs. So I do think that right now we are struggling, though, with our 10-year-old who is just cherishing no moments. He's just
focusing on the negative.
All negative all the time. Like,
I don't know where he gets that.
I know. He'll have like the best day ever and then be like, oh, but you know what? Tomorrow's probably going to be bad.
Yeah. He'll be like shit, I have school in 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. For no reason whatsoever. Like tomorrow could also be another planned great day. But
like, God damn it, in 20 years I'm going to do my taxes. And then he's like, his day is ruined.
Yeah.
His Saturday in July as a 10-year-old is ruined because he's thinking about the potentiality of doing taxes in 30 years. There's not even going to be a planet in 30 years, buddy.
Oh, he gets worried about the planet too. As well he should. Guys, stop fucking with the planet. No.
Seriously.
Listen.
Including us.
So I do think that sometimes you do have to be in the moment and cherish it and stuff. But telling someone to cherish the moment, that's like telling someone to calm down. Oh, you want me to calm down?
I use that
I'll
from time to time.
calm down right now. You want me...
Okay.
It goes well, doesn't it?
Please don't calm down. Relax. It goes real well. Just relax. That's just almost as good as calm down. All right. So another popular one was, it goes so fast. What? No, it doesn't. None of this good. Look, it goes fast, right? The days are long, but the years are short, is what they say. It doesn't go that fast. What do you think? You think it goes fast?
I do. And you know what? So I wasn't on Instagram like at all for a long time when you were like, I wasn't in that cliche sort of world. I wasn't seeing those things.
All the stupid cliches.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, I wasn't hearing people telling me shit
coffee
like
mug
this.
Platitudes.
Yes, right. And anytime I see a wall that says like, a wall fucking sign that says like live laugh, love.
Die, cry,
like,
hate.
Fuck you. Yeah. Anyway, so I remember when we had Munch and I was like getting the stroller into the we lived in a building that had an elevator or whatever, and there was a mom that had like probably like kids that were like 10 years old and stuff, and she was just like, she'd see me every day, and she just one day said something. She was just small talking. Then she said to me for the first time that I had ever heard it, the days are long, but the years are short. And honestly, hearing it in that connotation
really hit home.
Like, it did hit home. And now, 10 years later, it really hits home. I have a kid going into middle school. I have a kid going into kindergarten. And I am that parent. So
desperate for another baby.
Need someone.
Baby fever, this one.
I don't know if it's baby fever, but I wish there was still a little one around.
He's 5. He's fine. Look, there's a lot of babies out there. Haven't you seen Raising Arizona?
There's no little kids.
We can grab one.
Anymore.
We can grab one. Anyway, so it goes so fast. It's really annoying to hear when you're in the throes of it, or when you're wishing it would go faster. When you're in the middle of the terrible twos, even though we didn't really have the terrible twos. When you're in the middle of something shitty, again, it's like cherish every moment. Like, I don't need to hear that. Like, you're not making anybody feel better when you say that. So what is the point? It's not even advice.
I would say, like, in my situation, her saying that, it was the proper situation, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. My kid wasn't fucking tantruming, and then she's like, hey, enjoy this. It goes fast. Then you just are like...
Well, context matters,
yes.
Right?
There's a lot of that.
So another one is, it's just a phase. Every parent knows that even if it is just a phase, it doesn't matter. It's meaningless. It's all one long phase. Everything, it's just the good parts shift, the bad parts shift, but it's all the same. You get rid of the one part of the phase. Like if your phase is what? Like your kid doesn't eat, right? And then you get to the next phase and finally the kids start eating, but he doesn't sleep, right? You just trade one thing for the other.
The hammer's been in a 5-year
I don't like the phase idea. Yeah, his whole life.
Yeah,
Hunger strike.
I don't think... Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the first time around, you do think it's a phase. Like, you can't say every parent knows. There's so many first-time parents do not know, and we blindly listen to people who said, like, oh, it's a phase, and then you come up with these cute things, like, oh, the terrible twos, the, like, 3-nagers, the FU4s. Guess what? They're all FU whatevers. Doesn't even matter.
FU2s,
FU7s,
FU10s.
All of them. Really fucking fuck you 10s, I'll tell you that. That's what I learned right now.
It's just a phase, though.
It's just a phase.
Cherish it.
Yeah, next he's going to be a tween, and then that's the thing that happens on our comments all the time. People, whenever you complain about your current age of kids, just you wait.
That's the worst.
That's the advice I hate.
That's not advice.
That's not advice. No, that's just a threat.
Yeah.
That's just a threat. So that's not cool, man.
So...
That's my complaint.
A lot of these are they all kind of link together. You're going to miss this is one. I'm not going to miss all of this, Karen, okay? I'm just not. And I wasn't calling people Karens. I'm saying her friend Karen constantly says you're going to miss.
No,
I'm just
shut up. She does not.
But it's a really obnoxious thing to say, especially if you're in the middle of, like, and that's the thing. You never know what somebody's actually going through. The shit that you see is just a snippet, right? And if you're like, oh, you're going to miss this. You don't know. 2 seconds ago, the kid was rolling around on his own poop. And, like, I'm sure he's cute. And when he's 10, he's not going to be as cute. But I'm not going to miss this part where he, like, peed on my face while he's changing his diaper, all right? So save it.
You're not going to miss it all.
Blow it out your ass, Uncle Roman.
I love the little kid phase. I'm going to miss a lot of this. I would take poopy diapers. Maybe not poopy diapers. Toddlers are good.
Why would
Toddlers
you say
are good. I'll take, toddlers.
Well, sometimes, because toddlers they are cute, though.
No.
Personality goes a long way.
And I actually liked babies, too, but, it's a little different.
Let's not go crazy about the babies. So,
and I will miss that stuff, but, you don't have to tell me.
So you believe all this shit.
That's just not even advice. This is just fucking
these are just things that a lot of people
find in the TJ Maxx.
A lot of people commented a bunch of these things, and one of them was sort of like it's just a phase or it goes so fast. One of them is it gets easier, it gets better. Again, not advice. It's sort of just like, be cool. It will get better. No, it won't. Even the parts that get better, other parts get worse. Just like you think it gets worse as they get older. I think it gets better as they get older. Guess what? We're both right.
You know what?
We're both right.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Tell me. Okay.
Leo gets.
Look back at 3-year-old Detective Munch you were obsessed with, and 10-year-old Detective Munch you struggle with, and tell me how it has gotten better.
Well, we watched Terminator 2. We can have conversations about mythology and the Greeking Out podcast. If your kid likes mythology, check out that podcast. You can have conversations. It's interesting. It's fun. And most of them are really frustrating. It's annoying, and he's giving me sass back, and it gets me really fucking angry. But you know what? There's some upsides.
Sure, but they had upsides then.
So you're saying it got worse, and I'm saying it gets better. Again, we're both right. It gets worse and better. Every stage is better and worse. It depends.
It's either. I'm just saying you acting like it's all better. Come on. You would kill for a toddler hug right now. You can't get a 5-year-old hugging.
I can't get a 5-year-old to hug me.
Jesus, it's killing you.
All right, so now we're going to get into some actual advice that people have heard. So My Peanut Adventures, who's a loyal listener, thank you, says she heard don't use the word no for your child. She said they were saying redirect or reframe. Instead of don't run away from me in the store, say in the store we stay together. Good on paper, but in real life, in the moment, that's a no for you. She says, that's a no for me. She shouldn't be using the word no. She's contradicting that great advice. So I agree that there's a lot of people who have these new agey techniques. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. It traumatizes your kid. You know what? In the moment, when you're reacting to stuff, that's just not how parenting works, right? I don't care how ingrained one of these approaches is. In reality, have you ever met anybody who doesn't say the word no?
Okay.
I mean, spoiled kids, maybe. But reframing it and being oh, in the store we stay together. No, you don't. You can't control a kid like that. You just gotta get a leash.
Especially the first time. I tried to frame things in a more positive way instead of the no's.
We all try.
But I was at a toddler play group, I think when the Hammer was 2. And it was a musical group, mommy and me shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9 a.m. I'm sitting there somewhat in a daze. It's I don't really know these people. I was not hungover. I don't really know these people. It's kind of like a drop-in thing. But I don't know how this conversation comes up. But I'm talking to this other mom, and she somehow says, well, we don't say no.
You just start laughing?
No, I literally remember snorting coffee out of my nose. It's just
good luck with that.
Just holy shit, is that for real? And I don't even know what it was. I think maybe her kid was crawling towards a dangerous area, and the group leader was kind of being no, we don't do that. And she's just but we don't say no. And I'm okay, but again, it's a fireplace.
Fun fact, that little kid was Donald Trump, Donald Trump, our president. Our former president. That's what happens when you don't tell a kid no. They grow up to be narcissistic fucking douchebag.
Okay.
Anyway,
bring it back
on. All
right.
So another one. So we're starting before we get into some rapid fire stuff. So another one that Bentini80 brought up, another loyal listener, and she loves to give feedback. Thank you, Bentini80. She says the one that drives me most insane is that boys will be boys. Again, not exactly advice, but a frustrating thing to hear, especially in the modern day and age.
That's definitely not new agey.
No.
I hate the boys will be boys.
She says, my mother-in-law says this constantly when my 2 boys act in any sort of hyper or aggressive manner. Sorry, but children of both genders need to know that certain behaviors are unacceptable. Exactly. #MeToo, right? That's why we have it. Men just think they can abuse power and they think they can get away with it because boys will be boys. They've been allowed because of this stupid gender stereotypes. Guess what? Being an asshole is gender neutral. right? You don't just get to do whatever you want because boys will be boys.
Well,
raise your kids better.
Sure, you're applying it to like adults right now, and obviously
that's
where it goes.
That's
where it ends, right?
Yeah.
But
like tugging on somebody's pigtails or like abusing somebody to show that you like them.
Well, I mean, it could be just
learn
the
how
boys
to communicate.
Being hyper and insane and dirty and whatever. Yes,
dirty? Why boys got to be dirty?
I don't know, because I feel like there's this stereotype. They're always... But I'll tell you, they want to play in dirt. Our kids are dainty. I was going to say, there's like this science show we were watching yesterday with the hammer, and they're like, they got to like paint all over themselves. And I'm like, doesn't that look funny? He's like, no.
Ew. Boys won't be boys in that case.
Hard pass. I will say one thing, another thing I don't like that's up that alley. Not advice exactly, but being like, oh, he's all boy.
Oh,
what
gross.
the fuck is all boy? I mean... Boys are all different. Girls are all different.
I think it means he slept with a lot of girls.
Is so outdated. And again, you hear it from
macho
the older
bullshit
generation. And I do
Maybe
not
he
like
should be
it.
less boy, because if he's all boy, he's probably an asshole. No offense. I'm all fucking boy. I'm all man. It sounded really bad calling myself all boy. I'm fucking 44 years old. Anyway, so sleep.
Also not all man. Is that a controversial statement?
I'm 100% man, okay? Okay? Look it up. I did 23andMe. It said Iberian Peninsula, all man. All right, so we got a lot of sleep stuff. People get a lot of sleep advice, especially because people will come up to you, like if you're like if you're walking the kid in the crib, what is it, a stroller?
Yes,
or you're in the park, or the baby's crying or whatever.
You know,
people love to give you advice on how to like help to get your baby asleep. If you post like an Instagram thing and you say that you cry it out, people will come down on you real hard.
Well, how about this? Let's go through some real quick. We'll both comment on it.
Cowabunga_mom says that she heard, keep your toddler up late and they will sleep in. She calls it the biggest lie told to any parent on earth. It is 100% bullshit. We could keep our kid up for 48 straight hours. He would still get up too early the next day. He would go to sleep for 2 and still get up at 5 a.m.
No.
Like, they never sleep later.
Especially the oldest kid. There's no fucking chance.
My kid
gets up at 6 a.m. There's a timer. Like this.
It doesn't matter how late he stays up.
And you know what, though, too? I remember when I had the first kid, and I'm here in Brooklyn, and I'm doing all the, like, floofy shit you do. In this new agey, like, I went to some sleep training course,
you don't use the word
whatever.
No, yeah.
I used the word no. Should have used the word no on the sleep training course. But sleep begets sleep.
Yes.
Which, I love this in theory.
Yeah.
You can't just fucking create sleep out of thin air, first of all. You don't just grab it from the fucking clouds or whatever. Even to my 10-year-old, I'll say this because he'll be like, I can't fall asleep. But I'll be like, but sleep begets sleep. And then I'll lay in bed till 2 a.m. staring at the fucking ceiling.
It doesn't work for mom brain, unfortunately.
It doesn't work for me, kid.
But they said that, like, if you put the kid to bed early, they'll sleep later. None of it works. They're never sleeping later. They're just not. They're going to do whatever it takes to ruin your sleep and to make sure that you're awake as early as possible, whether they stayed up late the night before or whether they've been sleeping for 3 days straight. It doesn't matter. They're still going to ruin it.
Okay, this next one's real weird.
Kim Carlson, Kimm Carlson with a K, says, just stroke her between her eyebrows, then she'll fall asleep. Works every time. So between, like, right in here, what if she has a unibrow like Anthony Davis and there's nowhere to stroke? You know who that is? Of course not. So you see these videos sometimes where, like, take your glasses off because you're really going to like this. Where they show like a person with a toddler or with a baby and they're going like this to the baby's face and they do it a few times.
I'm not going to like this.
And the baby eventually falls asleep after like 30 seconds. Have you ever tried it on your own kid? Never works. I believe it works for some people. What, did it work for you?
With the hammer, doing like his head, a million%.
Well, let's go do that right now.
Repeatedly.
He's being really annoying.
Like, even now, it calms him. Like, if he's really upset, it'll soothe him.
How have you never told me this?
I don't know. It only works for me.
Oh, please.
I'll let you try it.
Aline Gueri says her Scottish mother-in-law told her to dip the pacifier in whiskey to put the baby to sleep. Dude, you put...
What?
That's how I go to sleep every night. Have a little bit. It's not on a pacifier, though. Just... straight from the bottle. Helps put me to sleep, no problem. Deliberated Diva says, so this is not about sleep, but it goes together. So she said she heard her dad, she's heard that you should rub whiskey on your baby's gums to help soothe the teething. I don't think that's bad advice. It's not going to get the baby drunk.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me this when I had like a toothache, to take a shot of whiskey or something. I'm like, no problem. As
a kid?
I'll do that right now. No, not as a kid.
Oh.
No, as an adult. It helps with the gums and the teeth. I don't know. We'll have to ask Dr. Rosencrantz. But Deliberated Diva says that she doesn't like that advice. I think it sounds like pretty good advice to me.
Rosencrantz promotion tonight.
Magda Yang says that she was told to throw away the pacifier the minute the baby turns 12 months old. She's like, seriously? So this is the problem with this kind of advice. These people don't know your kid.
No.
Or even if it's your mother-in-law, she doesn't live with you.
You don't know my kid.
You don't know my kid. You obviously don't know my kid. People love Best in Show references. So Hammer was very attached to his pacifier. Yes. Detective Bunch couldn't care less, but Hammer was attached to his pacifier. We were really nervous about getting rid of it. You know, I remember somebody commented, and I posted a photo once, and he was like, 3, like, why is he still using a pacifier? Because fuck you, that's why. It's not your kid.
More than one person, I think, has done that. Like, he's happy, he's walking around. Why is he still using a pacifier?
Because it's fucking up his teeth, and we don't want him to use a pacifier. They're expensive, and he loses them. We used to, every time we took him in the stroller, he'd be throwing those things out on the sidewalk left and right.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
I'm talking about
pacifiers.
Yeah, sure, but
throwing them out left and right. No, it's bad for the teeth.
Okay, I understand your point. I was saying how someone was like giving a shit that like, hey, the kid seems happy and stuff, and he still has the pacifier.
Why is he
still using it? And my point being like,
right, you're right. I reversed it.
No, you
I
totally
flipped it and reversed it. I'm not very bright.
You don't even know your point.
You know what? I'm just babbling here.
It's just get it together.
It's the 105th episode. People know that I babble most of the time. Okay, you're right.
You know, pick a lane.
We decided we wanted to get rid of the pacifier, and that guy can go shove it. And then the guy actually wrote me back and apologized. He's like, I didn't mean anything by it. Too late. I put you on blast.
I feel like you're talking about something else entirely.
No, the guy who got mad at me that our kid was still using a pacifier when he was too old. So he was dancing to We Are the World. You remember that video? We are the world.
Sure.
You don't have any idea what I'm talking about.
Neither
does anybody else.
That there was a comment and you were like, yeah, why do you think he's fucking happy? He has the pacifier. Like, that being the point. That's the guy?
Well, this is the eternal struggle of parenting. It's, do you keep your kid happy, or do you do what's best for you in the moment, which is to keep your kid happy so he's not screaming and crying, or do you do what's best for the kid in the long run, which often is bad for you in the moment? And it involves, refusing to buy them that thing they want because they misbehaved, and not spoiling them and doing this kind of stuff. And if you take the shortcut to make the kid happy so they're not yelling and you feel better about yourself in the moment and you can have a relaxing night, kid's going to end up like Donald Trump. That's the point.
Okay, enough with that.
So,
I mean, I think that, yes.
But my point is that nobody knows your kid the way that you know your kid. Nobody knows your reasons for doing whatever, whether the kid should still have a pacifier or not. And it's really obnoxious when somebody weighs in. Obviously, when you're on Instagram and you're putting this stuff out there, it's to be expected. I don't get mad at it. I like to actually bounce it back off these people and then post it, and then people get mad at me for giving the trolls the limelight. You know what? I'm just having a good time. It's my channel, not yours. Mano Hamdast said the bad advice she got was let the baby cry itself to sleep. Now look. Crying it out is very controversial. The sleep training is very controversial. This is one of the things when my blog was thriving back in the day when Detective Munch was a kid. This was one of my most controversial posts where I said crying it out worked for us, and it did. And it wasn't about torturing the kid. It was about letting the kid learn how to self-soothe without you coming in there every 2 seconds to make sure he was okay. It doesn't mean the kid cries for 12 hours straight and, thinks his parents have abandoned him or anything like that. There's all these horror stories about what cry it out is. The fact of the matter is, you know your kid, you know what works and what doesn't. Yeah, look, if you're abusing your kid, there's not much I can say to you at this point.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I don't think it's going to really register, but...
Well, there was a couple things I would say with Detective Munch, and also an addendum to the entire blog you wrote at the time. One, with Munch, he already was pretty good sleeper. Like, friends would come over and we'd be like, all right, this is the bedtime routine. And 5 minutes later, we're back and we're like, want a beer? And they're like, what?
It takes us, we have to read 8 books and cuddle with them. And
he was already sleeping, a decent amount. And so we were just trying to get him to that, like, however many hours. And it took, 1.5 nights of crying, and it worked wonderfully. And he, never looked back. It really did. He was, and then he was just, a great sleeper. It was amazing.
Not so much with the
addendum.
Hammer.
The Hammer had colic, and this goes back to knowing your baby. We could not have cried out with the Hammer. he would scream bloody murder as if he was in pain.
Mm-hmm.
He was literally strapped to me for the first 3 months of his life. Not that that's, like, you don't do cry it out usually that early anyway. Like, that's later than that. But still, even then, there was no crying it out. I don't even know if we maybe halfway attempted it. Doesn't matter. It wasn't going to fucking happen. Everyone fucking knows it. He was not going to do it. It was not going to be a good time for anyone. You were not going to accomplish your goals. And so we just didn't sleep for a couple years.
Advice depends on the kid, depends on the parent, depends on the circumstances. There are a lot of kids that do like whiskey, okay, is my point. So a bunch of people said some food advice they'd gotten. So I'd never heard this one. TP Peppy said they were told to feed your kid everything as a baby so they don't become a picky eater. She's like, that didn't work.
Yeah. No, like the pediatrician says that, and like, give him a little of everything, like every meal, and da-da-da.
But Detective Munch, like, he used to eat everything. When he was little, he ate a lot more, and he didn't become picky until later.
No, you're wrong. I feel like you're just babbling again, and you don't even know whose children you have.
Maybe it's my other family.
Detective Munch is still, to this day, a pretty good eater.
He's pretty good,
he's not picky.
No, he's had some picky moments.
Maybe some, but he
doesn't like pizza.
Well, he's just tired of pizza because
we have pizza once or twice a week.
Yeah. But
it's good pizza.
You know
we live in New York.
What
are you going to do?
Buy it. Yeah. I mean, don't eat. What do I care, kid? Stand by pizza. If you want to go get some vegetables, go elsewhere. No,
not in this house. We don't use vegetables in this house. Like some houses don't use the word no. We don't use vegetables. Deal with it.
But the Hammer, meanwhile, we have not exposed him to a ton of food. We have tried to expose him to more, but he will not eat a fucking thing that is not chicken nugget
or little bites, mini muffins. We just meals of convenience for us and for him. We got sick of the fight.
Yeah,
he's not starving. That's all that matters.
Fine.
He's not obese. He's not starving. He's fine. Another blogging mother, another loyal listener, thank you, says, my in-laws told me not to give the kids any snacks, meals only. She's like, do you know how demonic a hungry child gets? We do. Because our 10-year-old gets hangry to the extreme and doesn't even realize it, even though we tell him literally like every other day. Some kids only get snacks.
Dad and Barry gets when he doesn't get snacks?
What are you talking about?
And Barry,
I just love a good snack. Chips.
He hides all the snacks.
I don't hide anything. They're all in the cabinet.
Oh. You hide snacks.
This is some bullshit. We don't even have any hot fries in this house that you know of. Ms. Lee C says somebody told her to schedule meals for the week. How come you don't do that?
Meal planning is a very big thing.
She said, unless sometimes I'm planning mac and cheese every night, this is total BS. So yeah, it's easy if it's just the same thing. Which we
This is not what meal planning is, by the way. I'm sorry, Ms. Lee C. This is not what meal planning is.
We schedule breakfast every week, by which I mean we put the little bites, mini muffin packets on the counter for the kids to grab every morning so they don't have to wake us up.
We feed them second breakfast. It's not just mini muffins. But no, people like legit meal plan and like they'll even take all. This is a thing that people do a lot, like real people do.
No people I care to know.
Spend all like day Sunday cooking their meals for the week.
In advance, yeah.
I would rather die.
Mm-hmm.
That is giving up half of my already short weekend to cook fucking food for these ungrateful children. Fuck that.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
I'm just saying, who doesn't like pizza besides our children?
Moving to the discipline category. Meme Waleski says, someone said, don't yell at your kids. It wasn't me who said that. Newsflash. I'm a big proponent of the yell. You can't. Look.
No.
I believe this. I think this advice.
Too much sometimes.
I think this is good advice. It's just impractical. It's just not something you can survive. Even she says, "Sorry, it's a rite of passage." Right? Yellowbug 319 says, someone said you just have to be more stubborn than your child. Challenge accepted. So hold on. There's another one here that reminded me of that. Rhiannon.
No. Hold on. You just have to be more stubborn than your child is basically Dad and Barry's entire approach to parenting, especially with not even just Detective Munch, even with like the Hammer now. You're just like try to like wait him out. No. Yeah. I don't want your hugs right now. You know what? Forget it.
Yeah, you hurt my feelings.
Want hugs before? No. You take you out. You shove them up your ass.
Well, hold on. So Rhiannon, shove them up your ass. Rhiannon says match their level was the advice she got. She's like, what the fuck? Like lay down and scream about goldfish touching my cheese stick? So obviously it's not easy to get into a toddler's or a child's headspace and react the same way. But I do think it's very funny sometimes if a kid is whining. It's actually mean and humiliating and cruel, but it's also can be very funny. If a child is like whining at you and you get down and you whine right back at them to let them know how it sounds, maybe effective once to be like, hey, this is what it's like right now, and then it just becomes child abuse, but still entertaining.
No. I've done this to Munch somewhat recently when he makes his whiny voice, because he's 10. Yeah. And he does his whiny voice.
Cut the shit.
He'll be like, what? I just asked for a snack. I'm like, what? I just asked for a snack. And then he'll be
That's how you sound.
And then he's just like, oh my God, don't talk like that. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I'm like, no fucking shit, kid.
We need to start recording it.
Everyone knows that it's nails on a chalkboard.
That's why we hate it.
He's like, I hate how I feel when you sound like that. I'm like, oh, dude, you think so?
Yeah, honestly. You're so close to getting it. So a couple of people, so this is under the discipline subhead. A controversial topic is corporal punishment, whether you should spank your kid. Mystique 1369 said that she was told don't spank your kids, so apparently she thinks that's bad advice. Jamie Lou 303 says she heard spanking is the way to discipline. She thinks that's bad advice. So again, people have different ideas on this one. I think science has shown pretty conclusively that spanking is not effective and is actually counterproductive and scarring and bad. I feel like for me, I think I was spanked like once or twice when I was a kid. I don't even remember the spanking, but having the fear of it could be effective, but I don't know that it's worth it. We've never spanked. We don't do that just because it's demeaning to you and the child. It just feels gross to do it.
At all. I remember though, like, this is so weird and so specific and so like freaking parenting in the 80s, right? But there was, a form sent home from my elementary school where you had to give permission
where the teachers could hit your kid,
where like principals like, do you give permission
no
to
for us to use corporal punishment on
basically
your kid,
if they do something wrong, can we spank them?
No, you cannot, Mr. Principal.
And my dad, being my very like straightforward, no.
Hear it, spit it out.
My straightforward, like, truck driving, like, no bullshit. I like to see you fucking try.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's spanking my kid but me, baby.
He's just like, I don't even spank my fucking kid. You want to try? You want to go?
May Moon Apalwala says that she heard if you don't hit your kids, they will not learn to respect you. That strikes me as completely wrongheaded. They'll be afraid of you, which is not what you want. Is it better to be feared or loved?
Loved.
That's what Machiavelli said. And then Michael Scott said, I want them to fear how much they love me. That's from The Office.
Yes, I got that one.
Laura Cross _IRL says...
people are going to be so excited you talked about The Office.
I know they are, even though I hate it. I don't hate it. Calm down. Laura Cross _IRL said that she was told to let siblings work out fights by themselves. So she tried it, and one ended up taking a bite out of the other. So won't be doing that no more. I'm going to back off on that one. Little Charmer 80 back again says she was told to use reusable cloth diapers. She's like, I'm good. Thanks. And I agree with her.
Oh, God.
No, thank
gross.
you.
Who needs all that added stress? Like,
God, there's already so much laundry.
I'm dealing with so much to do. And now I actually have to... Can you imagine?
I can't. And I don't want to.
Oh, my God. Guys, we have a friend.
I don't have any friends.
No, we have a friend who... They're very new agey. And their thing was from like
no diapers
birth.
at all.
Remember, they had cloth diapers, but from birth, anytime they saw
the kids scrunching up, getting ready to rock,
to go to the bathroom, they would like run to the toilet. I shit you not, and put them over it for the kid to pee or shit in it. And this is some sort of like
kid over it.
way to potty train from like birth. Apparently it's a thing. If anyone's heard of it, please tell us.
No, don't.
Because I've never heard of anyone else doing this. I think their kid is like the same as our kid, and they just still went to the bathroom at the same time. I don't know why.
That's my whole thing with potty training is your kid's not going to end up, shitting his pants when he's in college. So maybe chill. He'll be fine. Unless he is that one kid that I knew in 8th grade who shit his pants, Roman. People don't forget. People don't forget Romans.
Oh,
anyway,
stop.
Megasaur said, she was told to pinch your toddler when he misbehaves so he won't understand what happened and can't retaliate. I don't even know what that means. You're just like stealthily pinching your kid so he thinks that like the hand of God came down.
Yeah. Like
if I do something bad, I'm going to feel pain. That's actually not a bad idea. I might start doing that. All right, so a couple more things. BVC 32282 says, this was the feed twins separately one, so they get one-on-one time with you. And she's like, when would I sleep? This is a ridiculous one. Mariah Summer said she was told, you won't ever be ready to have kids, so just have kids now. She's like, dummy, I was broke and unmarried. So that was not good advice. It's like going up to like a 14-year-old, like, you're never going to be ready, so just do it. Just throw caution to the wind and have your kids now. We did a whole episode on whether it's better to be a young parent and get the parenting over with, or whether be an older parent so you can live your life. Guess what? Neither side wins. They both win, they both lose, just like everything else. All right, let's run through some random stuff. There's some really random stuff. So, Bentini80 says, between my quirky 90-year-old neighbor and my mother-in-law, I've gotten a lot of terrible advice. Listen to this shit. Tape a coin to your newborn's belly button for the first 2 weeks to avoid an outie belly button. It does not sound scientifically sound. And who cares if they have an outie belly button? Is that like a thing to fear?
Not really
what does
concerned.
that mean? Number 2, if you're wondering if they are crabby from teething but can't tell, take a spoon and tap their gums. If you hear a clink, that's their teeth coming through. Yeah, because that won't make them cry. Hey, smash their face with it. Number 3, wrap that baby up in a blanket or give him a hat or he'll catch a cold. Thanks so much. It's fucking July. It's 95 out. I'm sweating. He's sweating. I'm not going to wrap him in a blanket. He's not catching a cold in July.
Okay, so I know people that
do that?
That are just really, 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 like, really
paranoid
worried about
viruses.
The weather. Like, just really, like...
Natalie Merchant?
Oh, my God. Like, see, here's the thing. Like, that I remember a pediatrician telling me, which is, like, however you feel, that's how the baby feels.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? And I've vacationed with friends and stuff, and they're like... Oh my God, like we'll be at the beach and sure, it's summer and stuff, but we're under like a shade, like everything's fine, like people are comfortable, and it's just like, oh my God, get the baby inside, get the baby in the AC, get it, it's just like, baby's fucking fine, man.
Yeah, it's not just like drawing in all the heat. If you're hot, they're hot, but if you're not melting, the baby will be okay.
And if they're a little warm, they're also going to live?
Yeah, exactly, and they need to be ready for the post-apocalyptic times. Climate change is ravaging this earth. She also says, somebody said, give him a little bit of Coca-Cola in his bottle for hiccups when he was 4 months old.
Okay.
Probably don't want to do that. Although, you ever have Coke syrup? You should be able to get Coke syrup, which is just like the syrup from, I don't even know if it was actual syrup from Coke or it's just a euphemism, but when you have an upset stomach, oh God, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Esen, I never know how to pronounce her name. Esen Go Azul. This sounds like something from Ghostbusters, said that someone told her to put urine, in the girls' ears when they had ear infections. She told me to put pee in their ears daily until the pain stopped. That doesn't sound like it would work.
Again, not scientific.
And we're going to wrap it up on this. So the 412's best said, am I the only one who ignores parenting advice? And no, you're not. I hate parenting advice. I don't listen to it. You don't know my kid. You don't know my life. Just because I have a parenting advice column in a local magazine and I've had multiple parenting advice columns on my blog doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about. My whole thing is nobody knows what they're talking about. Nobody knows their kids the way that you know your own kids, right? So do what you're going to do. Don't break any laws. Don't break any bones.
We didn't...
Do what works.
Absolutely. 100%. I have a thing though. Like, so I don't think like either one of us said something about like bad parenting advice we've gotten. Can you think of bad parenting advice?
I can't remember. I blocked all that stuff out. Just the child-free stuff.
Well, it's because when someone's like, hey, do you know what? And it sounds like they're going to give you advice. You just go, you just shut down.
Put my ear pods in.
No, you just shut down like you did during that segment earlier where you just are like, I'm sorry, I haven't heard anything you said here.
I don't remember what you're talking about, and I'm offended at the implication.
Precisely.
I'm a very attentive parent and husband.
Well done.
Thanks. So that was our worst parenting advice episode. We will be back soon, probably with Pete next time, I think, but Mom and Beard will be back soon. Oh, I'm going to be on a podcast next week. When I have the details, I'll let you guys know. I'm guesting on one. Tova Lee, I believe is her name. I'll let you guys know. If you listen to her, please let me know. You can get this wherever you get your podcast. Wherever you're listening to it right now, please subscribe and like. Give us some ratings and reviews. Check us out on YouTube. You can see my new hat. Thank you, Chowder Heads. Check out their website. Anything you want to plug? Your Instagram?
Sure. Follow me at Mom and Buried if you're not already. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Why you would still be watching this isn't a Marvel movie, no matter how much I look like Paul Rudd. You can deny it all you want. It's there in the eyes, I think. I'm young looking like him. If you enjoyed the podcast, which you obviously did or you wouldn't be listening still, sign up on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to. Comment here on YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button. We want to hear from you. Comments, questions, dirty jokes, money, all the money you can give us. We'd love it all. Catch you next time.